I don't know if it's like a meta thing because you get better engagement on quote tweets or something. It might be. It's probably a. I usually. Oh, thank you.
Hello. I have been following you for a while now and have been questioning my gender for nearly as long. If you feel comfortable saying, what made you realize you are trans?
Um, one second. That's a tough question. Let me just quickly finish this train of thought. I will tell you in 1 second. The boost traffic to OF. Yeah, I know it is. That's why I just don't. I understand what it's for, and I understand that it's just it's engagement or whatever. I just think that it's low quality, right? I don't like low quality posting to improve engagement. It's not their fault. It's what people do in order to like, they're working within a system that is flawed, right? So my issue isn't with them, it's with the flawed system. I just don't like it personally. I don't like the posts. And for some reason it just yeah, I don't know. Anyway, how did I realize I was trans? Well, it's a tough question. When I was a lot younger, I had obviously weird thoughts about my gender identity for, when I was quite young, but I didn't really understand what exactly transness was. Um, so I didn't really have a way to like turn those thoughts into like transitioning, right? Because I just was like confused about not feeling like other boys or whatever, um, feeling envious of girls, right? Stuff like just like normal stuff, I guess, normal teenage stuff. But for me, the thing that made me start questioning my gender identity in the first place was when I got a little bit older. When I got into my like early 20s, I started to feel uncomfortable acting how I had always acted. Because I think this is true for trans people in general. Though I could be wrong, but I believe this to be true. I haven't really met a trans person who feels like an entirely different person than who they were pre-transition. Like, for the most part, people are pretty similar. Like, I liked, I was a nerdy introvert pre-transition. I'm a nerdy introvert post transition. I like the same kind of video games. I like the same kind of movies. I Even though I dress in like a different gendered clothes, like a gender of clothes, I still wear like the same kind of like I still have the same vibe, right? Um, all my outfits pre-transition, I wore black all the time. I wear black now all the time. I liked long coats. I like long coats. I like sweaters. I like sweaters. Um, so like my personality didn't like it didn't. It's not like I went like, oh my god, there's a whole other version of me that's totally different than who I am, right? Um, but what ended up happening was I would I would be able to like act the way I wanted to when I was like a teenager. And that was okay. Like it wasn't weird, right? To act exactly how I act on stream with you, like being like bratty or whatever, um, doing like all my usual shenanigans, um, and stuff like that. I was able to act like that as like a teenage boy, but once I got into like my early 20s, I started to feel really like creepy, okay? For just being the exact same person I'd always been. As like my body masculinized in the went through like fucking puberty because I had a really fucking late puberty. I don't know why, but it was just super delayed. Um and stuff. Um and I was severely underweight when I was a kid, like severely underweight. And I think when I was 20, I like decided I made like a pact to like gain weight with myself, right? And I gained like fucking 50 pounds. It was ridiculous to stop being a skeleton. Um, all of a sudden, it just felt really fucking weird to be the exact same person I always was. And so that was what got me to really start questioning my identity in the first place. That's when I was like, oh, okay, maybe something's wrong here. Like, I don't exactly understand why, but I don't feel comfortable, like, in my body. I don't feel comfortable with, like, my personality and my body, like my brain and my body, they just don't match. There's incongruence here. So I kind of left it at that for a while. At first, I thought I just needed to like grow up or something like that. Of course, right? Um, my initial my initial response was, well, maybe I just need to grow up. Like maybe that's my problem. Like, um, I keep wanting to act like a fucking teenager or something when I'm 22. I have to act like an adult or something like that. Whatever the fuck that means. But that was like my initial thought. Um, and then for the most part, I just kind of left it there for a while. But I ended up seeing, I can't remember the exact process, but I had like a couple friends that were, you know, um, more queer community oriented, because I didn't have a lot of those, and I liked hanging out with them, and I, you know, kind of felt, I guess, a little more comfortable, like exploring myself. I started growing my hair out, which was a big deal because I'd always had like haircut trauma. Um, and I'd had my hair short for like 4 years or something at that point. So I started growing my hair out again, um, to go like long haired. And at some point, I I just saw an image of a trans woman who looked like a normal person. And I was like, oh, I think that's what I want to be. Like, I think I want to be that. Like, um, I remember I saw like it was a GIF. I still remember it, obviously, but it was a GIF of like just a trans woman. And she was just like, she had like she had like jeans and a t-shirt on, and she did a little hair flip. And I just like sent that video to my friend, and I just said like, this is what I want to be. Um, I think at the time I'd been identifying as non-binary for like a year, but I was doing it in the sense of like the I was identifying as non-binary in like the, honestly, I'm not really non-binary, but like if you ask me, like what do I think about my gender identity? Like I just don't really think about like I don't think um I fit the, regular gender identity thing. But like obviously I didn't care, right? I was just like I just don't fit it. So, but I'll just say I'm non-binary. But then once I realized, oh, like I think I want to be like a trans woman, then I started actually identifying as non-binary because at that point I was like, oh, okay, like I think I want to be trans, but I don't think I am trans. So I kind of had that. That was like where I began, I guess. That feeling of like, I would like to be trans, but I don't think I am. Like, not that I don't think I. How do I word it actually? Maybe that is how I would word it. I wanted to be a woman, but I didn't think I was a woman. I was just a person who wanted to become one.
Nice.
I guess.
Very nice,
So,
Bulge.
that was where my headspace was for a while. And then I thought about it for a while. And I was like, I don't remember how long that phase lasted. Maybe like a month or two. Not that long at all. It took me a month or two of just really thinking about it hard. And then I was like, that makes no sense. Obviously, if you want to be a woman, you should just transition. And I thought about it really, really hard as well because this might be a me thing and it might be a toxic internalized transphobia thing. So full warning, okay? But I was really afraid of transitioning and like ending up ugly, okay? I was really afraid of that. Um, I saw some photos of, and I don't know how much of this is like transphobic people posting this to like freak people out or whatever. But like I saw photos of like trans girls' boobs that looked really weird and stuff, and I was like, bro, if I transitioned and my boobs looked like that, I would be horrified. Like I don't think I would be able to live with myself. Like I was like on that kind of brain rot, right? Um, and so it was like really important to me that if I transitioned, I would only do it if I could like be good at it. I guess whatever the fuck that means. But that was in my head um, at the time. And then I think at a certain point, I asked myself the question of like, would I rather like would I rather be a guy or would I rather be a like a visibly trans woman? And I think at a certain point that answer became I'd rather just be the woman. Even if I don't look the way I want to look, I think I'd rather be that than be a guy. Um and once I got to that stage, I was like, okay, we're gonna do this then. So at that point, that then I, of course, got on the wait list for hormones and stuff because I'm like, okay, like I've got it. I've resolved in my head at this moment that I'm ready to send it. Like we're going. Operation Transition is in effect now. Yeah. Obviously, it wasn't a full send. The big problem for me though was, and I don't know if this is always the case, but it was the case for me. But I spent so long thinking about if I was trans, and I didn't. What's the word? I didn't. How do I word this? Fuck me. I didn't even begin the process to start hormones until I had 100% in my own mind concluded that I was trans. So at the point that I began seeking to medically transition, I was 100% trans, and I don't know if that was a good idea because kind of the issue with that was now I know I'm trans. I know that I'm trans. I want to transition. I want to begin hormones, and I get waitlisted. And it's like, oh, well, but I'm like ready to go now. Like, I'm kind of ready to start right now. Like, I don't want to be on a wait list. Wait a second. And being on the wait list, knowing I was trans and not having access to hormones while being 100% aware that I wanted to transition was like horrifying, okay? It was terrible. It was so bad. So if you're like questioning your gender identity, I guess, and you like think you might want to transition, it might be a good idea to like start the process of talking to someone about it. Because yeah, that could just firstly be helpful for your own sanity if you can like talk to like a gender therapist or just like someone that just any sort of therapist about it. But also on this chance that you're like, oh, okay, I want to transition, like you've already taken steps to like do those things so you don't have to go through a phase of like, oh no, I want to transition but I like physically can't because my doctor is refusing to give me hormones. There's a website that shows how varied women's breasts are, which helps with the fear of being weird. Yeah, I know, but I have my own brain rot, okay? Look, I got my own brain rot. I really like being pretty. Like, it means a lot to me. If you watch the stream, I fucking look at my face, and depending on if I feel ugly, it can completely ruin a stream for me. If I feel bad about how I look, it can just destroy my stream energy. I really like looking I like looking pretty. It matters to me. It's important. I don't care. I don't care. who, who judges me for this? The reality is, like, I like looking good, okay? And it matters to me. What if nobody could see me? I would have, as long as I can see myself, I, I care, I guess. Obviously, if no one else was looking, I would think about it a whole lot less. But you're letting your autism shine here, but fuck it. Is it possible to think of being a baby in the womb as similar to being enveloped by the womb? Given that clothes are typically worn on the outside of one's body. And as an unborn baby, you're surrounded by the womb, like clothes enveloping one externally. Are you asking if unborn babies are naked or if they're wearing a skin suit? What are you cooking? Wearing their parents. I think I don't have a great answer, but I would say that babies are naked. That's what I would say. That's just based on vibes alone. No other unborn babies are naked. That's based on vibes alone. That's what I would say. Oh, good. Thank you. But yeah, obviously, if no one is looking at me, like, I remember I talked about this, but I had this long stretch of time last year, and I guess the first couple months of this year, where I was ultra depressed and I wasn't doing makeup or anything ever, and I was just being a complete antisocial loser video game gamer, okay? And I think I said my dysphoria was at like an all-time low for the simple reason that I wasn't looking at myself or like feeling obligated to show people what I looked like. So I was super non-dysphoric, but it's just because I wasn't engaging with myself at all, right? If bodies didn't exist and you were just a voice, I guess, and you were just the other senses, like, I would probably not care about how I looked, because how could I? But that's a weird, I don't know, that's a weird analogy. Obviously not. Like, do I care about how I look when I'm hanging out with people on Discord calls? Well, not really. Although I will say that if I'm hanging out with people in Discord, I don't really have, like, some people have, like, really good voices, and some people have, like, really good personalities. And my personality's okay. And I think my voice is, like, fine. But neither of them are winning any awards. So, like, I like that people know how I look on the internet. Because, look, I'm based for saying this. You can't disagree. I like when people find me attractive, okay? I think that that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool, personally. In fact, I wish everybody found me attractive. If I had my way, the whole world would think that I'm hot. Like, the whole world would want to, like, have sex with me, okay? If I could decide, if I could have a wish or whatever, I wish every human being on this planet, like, within reason, obviously, but, you know, I wish that, like, every adult in this world was like, yo, she's really hot. Whoever doesn't is blind. Well, people have preferences, obviously, right? No one that's into, like, big asses is going to find me attractive. If your thing is big asses, count me out. If your thing is big boobs, count me out. If your thing is athletic women, count me out. You think I'm very attractive and want to have sex with me? No freaking way. Thank you so much. I needed to hear that. Thank you so much, Rain. But yeah, like, obviously everyone has their own aesthetic or whatever, right? I know not you're never going to be found attractive by everyone, but okay, I want to be found attractive by as many people as possible. I think that would be so fucking based. I don't care. I just think it's really cool to be pretty. I don't care. If that makes me shallow, so be it. 100% non-controversial. Yeah. A second. But yeah, I don't know. You know what I think about a lot? um, is exclamation mark height. If it makes me feel better, have a community. That does. Honestly, the little Twitch community here, when I was going through my depressive episode, was like seriously the only thing keeping me going. I say that as if I'm out of it right now, which I think I might be. Maybe the medication is what I just needed to get back on medication and stuff. But the world, it might be because I'm back on medication. The world feels brighter. It also could just be because summer is coming and winter is over. The world feels brighter and also like lighter as well, as in like not as heavy. Life feels better than how I felt like 4 months ago, or even like a month ago, I guess. No, I think a month ago I was getting better, but it just took me a while to claw out of it, I guess. But I'm feeling pretty good right now, and the community here was so nice because, damn, the way that people here stuck with me through like that phase of my life is crazy. Like, I can't believe some people stuck around. I was going through it, okay? I was really going through it this last while. So I really appreciate it, actually. Some people in particular, like, because, you know what I really appreciate? This is like a content creator thing, actually, but this is just me in general. Whenever you, like, fall off as a content creator, people that only engage with you for, the fact that they can get engagement out of you,